16 teams, one final goal. The NBA playoffs are among us, where the best the NBA has to offer will face each other in hopes of hoisting the Larry O'Brien. The stars of today are looking to begin or further cement their legacy with another great performance, while others may tarnish theirs a bit and underperform. Welcome to this edition of Penn State Sports Night. I'm Joey David alongside Nolan, Collery, and Michael Landis, where we'll take a look at everything from play-in matchups to who will be winning it all. So, Michael, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, we're going to start with the play-in tournament where the 7 and 8 seeds of the respective conferences will face each other, and then the 9 and 10 seeds will also face each other. And then the winner of the 7 and 8 seed will play the 2 seed, and the loser of that will play the winner of the 9 and 10 seed, who will then play the 1st seed. After that really long and winded explanation, who do you think is going to go out of the play-in tournament victorious?
Yeah, Joey, for me in the East, I never thought that I would say it, especially after last year, seeing the Miami Heat make the conference finals. But I have the Miami Heat and the Toronto Raptors coming out of the East side. And I think this one seems pretty obvious. I mean, the Miami Heat have all the talent in the world on this team. They are easily the best playing team by far. A lot of people thought they might sneak into the playoffs in that 6th seed spot. However, they did not pass the Nets. I think they're easily getting in there. I think they're going to take out the Atlanta Hawks. And I think it's going to be pretty easy, honestly. I mean, the Hawks have been the definition of mid this season. They have not been able to get above 500. They've been just under 500. They've not been consistent enough to be able to become to take that next step and become that playoff team. And the Toronto Raptors on the other side are going to be that team to take that next level step because they have defense. Defense wins championships, and Nick Nurse knows how to give it to them. So I think the Toronto Raptors are going to sneak in on that side. And sliding over to the West side, I got the Lakers and the Pelicans on the West side, and I think the Lakers are hot at the right time right now. I mean, this is a team that's getting healthy. You have LeBron back. You have Anthony Davis back. D'Angelo Russell is playing great as a role player. I mean, they have all the pieces coming together now. Austin Reeves is going off. They are easily going to win this first-round matchup, especially with the Timberwolves. I mean, Rudy Gobert throwing that punch yesterday. Their team chemistry is going completely downhill. And the Pelicans, who are a very young and upcoming team, I honestly think they have a great opportunity to showcase what they're made of and how they can slide into the playoffs here. I think Brandon Ingram and TJ McCollum are easily going to make their way into leading them into the playoffs.
Definitely some good picks. I'm going to agree with you on half of them, first and foremost. The Miami Heat are probably the 5th best team in the East right now. I'd put them over both New York teams. I'm quite frankly shocked that they did not end up with one of those top 6 seeds guaranteeing a spot in the playoffs, but they have experience, they have depth. Jimmy Butler has shown us multiple times that when the playoffs come, he is a top 10 player. There's just no way that this team doesn't make it. And then for the other side of the East, I decided let's have a little fun. I'm going to give it to the Bulls, another team with a lot of experience, a team with some depth. They've dealt with some injuries all year long, but Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, I believe in just those two being enough to get them out of the play-in. Do I think they're going to go on a playoff run? No. But I do think they will be one of the 2 teams from the East to escape the play-in. Probably the best team in the entire play-in is the Los Angeles Lakers. They are hot at the right time. Their midseason trades have been paying huge dividends to them. They have looked like an entirely new team on this back half of the season. The other team that I think will escape from the West, actually the Thunder, another team with a super young core. But the reason I think they're going to get it is because of star power. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has played like a top 10 player, a first-team All-NBA type guy all year long. And CJ has been great. Brandon Ingram has been great. But without Zion, I just think that having that star is going to propel OKC to the top.
Yeah, the biggest thing you have to worry about in the NBA is star power. And when the lights are the brightest, the stars are going to come out and they're really going to show why they're the best in the game. So now we're out of the play-in. Let's look at the first round. Who do you guys have getting out of the first round of the playoffs?
So the matchup that I'm going to highlight, I'm going to give a quick shout-out to Warriors-Kings, because the Warriors are a 6th seed and currently have the 4th best betting odds to win the title, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're defending champions, but that's crazy. But let's talk about the Knicks versus the Cavs. This is exactly what I want out of a first-round matchup. Now, I'm not really a fan of either team, to be completely transparent, but I'm going to watch every single game of this series. They're teams that are young, they are exciting, they are on the same time frame. They are both. This is the Cavs' 2nd round to the playoffs with this basic core, and this is the Knicks' first trip. It's going to be so much fun to watch. Jalen Brunson versus Donovan Mitchell is going to be so fun, but I think what's going to give it to the Cavs, who I'm going to pick to win in 6, is right now Julius Randle is still not 100% back. And when he comes back, will he be back fast enough? I don't know. But when he comes back, playing that 4, he's going to have to deal with Jarrett Allen. He's going to have to deal with Evan Mobley. If he's trying to play out from the high post, he's going to have to deal with Isaac Okoro. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. But this matchup is going to be so fun. Give me Cavs in 6.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to swing it over to the West. I'm going to go the Clippers and Suns, which I absolutely think is the best matchup of the playoffs. I mean, this is just a star power showdown. I mean, you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and that's just on the Suns. And, I know the Clippers will not have Paul George at least to start the series, but they still will have Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. Norman Powell's been playing an increased role there. I think the Clippers are going to make some noise here. And now, I don't think that they're going to win this series, but I think they're seriously going to make some noise here in the Western Conference. I think this is going to be personal for Russell Westbrook. I think he's had a lot of motivation this entire season, and specifically against Kevin Durant. He always plays to 100%, his max level. But on the Suns side, they just have so much star power. I mean, that trade for Kevin Durant, they gave away some young pieces and some great defenders, obviously in Mikal Bridges, who's excelling in Brooklyn. But who would have known that? I mean, you really can't see that. They weren't those evolved players right now. And Durant is that guy. I mean, Durant can arguably be the best player in the league when healthy. I think this matchup could easily go to 6 or 7 games, but overall, it's going to be the Suns who come out with this one. I mean, this team is just too stacked to be able to not come out of this one.
Guys, I love those points. I mean, first off, Michael, talking about Kevin Durant versus Russell Westbrook, that's always a matchup you want to see. There's always that bad blood between the two of them. And as you said, it might even go to 7, and that's a game that everybody should really watch because the competitive nature is definitely going to be there. And Nolan, your take on Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell being 2 guys that are in new homes, really leading their teams to great records and now playoff success, that is definitely going to be some great matchups that we're going to want to look at. So now we got to look at the granddaddy of them all, the big reason why we're talking about the NBA here. Who is leaving with the trophy? Michael, I'm going to start with you.
For me, it's absolutely the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think there's just no question in my mind, this is the most dominant team in the league. I mean, year after year, we saw it 2 years ago in the finals matchup between the Suns and the Bucks. Giannis just is that guy. He will run through anybody that comes in his way. And right now, they have a great path in the East. I think that the East is way harder than the West this year because personally, I think the top 3 teams are just so much better skill-wise and talent-wise. I mean, the Sixers and Celtics are insane, but the Bucks are in a great position where they get the 1 seed. So they will have home court advantage, get to play the Cavs or the Knicks in the second round, and then they will watch as the Sixers and Celtics kick it out, and one of them will be out of the playoffs. They'll be knocked out. And that's probably a series that can go to 6 or 7 games in that and they're going to be worn down. I mean, this is just feasting for the Bucks for Giannis. They're just waiting, lining them up. I mean, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Giannis, they are all going to lead this team again to the NBA Finals. And on the other side of the playoffs, the Phoenix Suns are going to go back. I think it's going to be a rematch of 2 years ago. And I think specifically for the reason of Kevin Durant coming over to Phoenix Suns, I think that this team is taking the next level. And for a 4 seed, they're not properly ranked, obviously, because Durant came later in the season. They haven't been quite healthy. If they stay healthy throughout the playoffs, this is a team that's just going to power their way through. They are full of scorers. But there's nobody that can defend Giannis. It's just that plain and simple. I mean, obviously for the Suns, they have any guy that can take that last second shot. That guy can uplift them. It can be Booker, it can be Durant, it could be Chris Paul. But either way, on that side, I'm going to go with the Bucks in 7 in the NBA Finals against the Suns.
Being a copycat is not something I'm proud of. I think it should be illegal. I think I should be thrown into jail for this take, quite frankly. I'm here, come lock me up. I'm going to say the exact same thing for the exact same reasons. I'd love to change it up, but the Milwaukee Bucks are clearly the best team in the league. They're clearly the best team in the playoffs. They have a very easy path. They will only have to play one of the Celtics or the Sixers, most likely, and that is going to be so huge. Chris Middleton hasn't played up to his standards this season, but Drew Holiday has slid into that number 2 role so easily. Brook Lopez is arguably having the best year of his career as a stretch 5. This team's unbeatable, it feels like. And don't get me wrong, the Suns are a really, really good team, really complete. Even after giving up 2 starting players for them to acquire Kevin Durant, it hasn't mattered. They haven't missed a beat. Kevin Durant has looked like potentially the best player in basketball. Why potentially? Because Giannis is the best player in basketball. You already said it. No one's guarding him. No one is stopping him. Giannis is going to win this chip. Giannis is going to get another Finals MVP. He's going to prove that he's the best player in the NBA, and he's going to cement his case as a top 5, soon to be top 3 power forward of all time.
I love that take from, I guess, both of you guys, but I won't be a copycat. I honestly think that it's going to be the Celtics versus the Warriors in the finals. I just love playoff Steph Curry. There's not much of a better basketball player. And then I think it's Jason Tatum's time. Everyone's been waiting for it. I think this might be the year he finally gets his ring. No matter who ends up hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy, at the conclusion of this NBA season, there will be matchups, highlights, and series that will be memorable for years. Let us know what you thought of Nolan and Michael's picks, as well as your own prediction for the coming playoffs. Thank you for watching this edition of Penn State Sports Night. For Nolan, Collery, and Michael Landis, I'm Joey David. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind the scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.